There are days that breeze by unnoticed, grocery lists, meetings, emails. Nothing extraordinary. And then there are the days when something cracks. The kind of day that doesn't explode, it creeps in. It waits for you at the door. It wears the face of the person you love most. That day started just like any other. I was home a little early trying to finish off some reports from the kitchen table when I heard the front door open. Click. Slam. Laughter. Emily. She moved like a song I'd memorized, graceful, light on her feet, but always with intention. She was wearing that faded denim jacket I loved. Her hair tied up in a messy bun. Even now, she looked effortlessly magnetic. 5 years into our marriage, and she still lit up a room just by walking into it. Mark, she called, dropping her purse by the door. Babe, you won't believe what just happened. I smiled at the sound of her voice, but my fingers paused over the keyboard. Oh yeah? I replied, still half focused on my screen. She bounded into the kitchen like a gust of energy and leaned across the island with eyes that sparkled like a kid about to tell a secret. Tina got us tickets to Big Sky Fest next weekend. Friday night. We're gonna see Blazelive, can you believe it? I blinked. Blazelive, the rapper? Emily beamed. Yes. He's headlining. Tina got us VIP passes through her cousin. Emily, Jess, Krista, and me, it's going to be insane. I set my laptop aside, finally giving her my full attention. Wait. Hold on. Blazelive? That guy with all the tattoos who's always in the news for doing crazy shit on stage. She rolled her eyes. That's part of the act. He's not like that in real life. Tina says he's actually super chill. Anyway, we're going. It's gonna be our one wild night out before Krista's baby comes. I tried to smile. I really did. But something inside me, maybe old-fashioned protectiveness, maybe plain jealousy, flared to life. Emily, do you think that's really a good idea? She narrowed her eyes, catching my tone. What do you mean? I hesitated. That scene, it's not really you, is it? I mean, crowded stadiums, wild fans, VIP parties, it sounds like trouble waiting to happen. Emily crossed her arms, the spark in her eyes dimming. So what are you saying? That you don't trust me at a concert? I stood up, slowly, and walked around the kitchen island toward her. No. I'm saying I don't trust the environment. You know how these things go, the crowd's full of drunk guys, and Blaze isn't exactly subtle with how he treats women on stage. She scoffed. It's a concert, Mark. I'm not going backstage to hook up with him. I said nothing. Because suddenly, the image of her backstage felt too real. Too close. You're serious? She asked, incredulous. You actually don't want me to go? I reached for her hand. Look, I'm not trying to be controlling. I have a bad feeling about this. Her hand slipped out of mine. Her face, normally open and kind, closed off. You know what this sounds like, she said quietly. It sounds like you think I'm the kind of girl who'd throw away 5 years of marriage over a concert. I opened my mouth to protest, but the words caught in my throat. She stepped back. I need a night out. One night with my girls. One night to be something other than Mark's wife. And if you can't give me that without suspicion, maybe you don't know me at all. I swallowed hard. Emily. But she was already walking away, heading for the stairs. Her voice floated over her shoulder. I'm going. With or without your blessing. I stood there in the silence. The hum of the fridge. The tick of the clock. My heartbeat, drumming like warning bells in my ears. And maybe that was the first time I felt it, the shift. The slow unraveling. Because for the first time in 5 years, Emily felt far away. That night, I lay in bed awake long after she'd fallen asleep beside me. I watched her back turned, breathing even, and I wondered how many other moments I'd missed. Moments when she'd begun to pull away. Moments when I started to lose her and didn't even notice. And the truth was, I didn't care about Blazelive. Not really. I cared that she wanted to be there more than she wanted to be here with me. The night of the concert came faster than I expected. She wore black heels I hadn't seen before. A tight dress. Lipstick darker than usual. She looked electric. Unreachable. Like a version of her that belonged to someone else. She kissed me on the cheek and said, I'll text you later. I waited. And waited. Hours passed. Then I saw it. A story on Krista's Instagram. Just 6 seconds. Music thumping. Crowd screaming. And in the middle of it all, Emily. Front row. Laughing. Swaying. And then she reached up. Her hand on Blaze's bare chest. And he was looking at her like she wasn't wearing a ring at all. The moment I saw that 6-second clip on Krista's Instagram, something inside me froze. I watched it again. And again. Emily, front row, her hand brushing the rapper's chest like she wasn't married, like I didn't exist. Blazelive grinned down at her as if she were his for the night. And the way she looked up at him, I knew that look. It was the same one she gave me when we first met. Curious. Flirtatious. Hungry. My hands were shaking. I didn't even realize it until I dropped my phone. I picked it up, replayed the video again. The sound was muffled by the bass, the crowd screaming, but I didn't need the audio. Her body language said everything. It was just a moment. A second in time. But it unspooled something deep inside me. I told myself it didn't mean anything. That it was the angle. The lighting. Maybe she was just reaching to touch his chain or his mic. Maybe it was the fan experience. People did weird things at concerts. But that wasn't what hurt. What hurt was that she hadn't texted. Not even a "Hey, it's loud, I'll call you later." Nothing. Midnight ticked past. Then 1 a.m. Then 2. I sat on the couch in the dark, staring at my phone, unlocking it every 10 seconds. I checked her location. Turned off. I checked Krista's profile again. She hadn't posted anything else. Neither had Tina or Jess. Digital ghosts. I typed out a message to Emily, "Hey, everything okay? You having fun? Just checking in." I hovered over send. Then deleted it. No. I wouldn't be that guy. The insecure husband blowing up her phone while she danced with her friends. She said she wanted a night out. I told myself I had to trust her. But the image played on loop in my mind. Her hand. His chest. The way Blaze looked at her. I tried to distract myself. Put on a game. Poured a drink. Scrolled through Reddit. But nothing drowned it out. Nothing silenced that tightening coil in my stomach. Finally, at 3:17 a.m., I heard the key in the lock. I stood up too fast. The door creaked open. Emily stepped in, heels in hand, hair messy, makeup slightly smeared. "Hey," she whispered, surprised to see me. "You're up. Couldn't sleep?" She smiled sheepish. "Sorry. My phone died. The lines at the chargers were insane. I didn't want to leave the girls." I nodded, too numb to speak. She walked over and kissed my cheek. Her breath was laced with tequila. "You okay?" she asked. I forced a smile. "Yeah. Concert was good." She lit up. "It was amazing. Blaze is such a performer. Like unreal energy." Jess almost lost her voice. I nodded. "Yeah. I saw." Her smile faltered. "Saw? Krista posted a video." She blinked. "Oh. Yeah, probably. She was filming a lot." "You were in the front?" She hesitated. "Tina got us upgraded wristbands. Her cousin knew a guy. It was last minute." "You touched him." Her face stiffened. "What?" "In the video. You reached for him. Touched his chest." Emily laughed nervously. "Mark, it was part of the act. He leaned down and everyone reached. I didn't even think about it. It was a second." I studied her. The slight tremor in her hands. The way she avoided eye contact. "Okay," I said. She exhaled, relieved. "Okay. I'm going to shower. I feel disgusting." She disappeared upstairs. And I sat back down, drowning in a silence heavier than before. Something wasn't right. I felt it in my bones. But I needed more. And I knew exactly where to look. When she fell asleep beside me, I reached over and picked up her phone. It was locked. Face ID. I held it up to her sleeping face. It clicked open. And what I saw in her messages made my stomach twist. There was a text. From a number with no name. Just one message. "You were fired tonight. I'm still thinking about that kiss." I stared at the screen of Emily's phone. The message burning in my mind. Couldn't even breathe. My heart hammered in my chest. And yet, it felt like everything had slowed down around me. The entire world seemed to have narrowed to the tiny, dimly lit screen in front of me. "You were fired tonight. I'm still thinking about that kiss." I tried to process it, but my mind was spinning. Who was this person? How could Emily have let it get to this point? Was this the type of relationship we had built over the last 5 years? Was this the woman I thought I knew? I felt a wave of nausea rise in me. My body went cold, as if the room's temperature had suddenly dropped by 10 degrees. My hands trembled as I scrolled down, my finger moving over the screen with no clear direction, like I was looking for some sort of justification, some hidden truth that could explain everything away. But all I found were more messages. More pieces of a puzzle that was starting to form a picture I didn't want to see. The photos came next. They were blurry, the lighting dim, but they were enough. In one of them, Emily was sitting next to Blaisliv, her body pressed so close to his that it made my stomach turn. His arm was around her waist, his fingers lightly grazing her side. She was laughing, her lips bright red, her eyes slightly glazed as if she were intoxicated. Not just by the alcohol but by the attention she was receiving from him. I checked the timestamps. The first one was 1:48 a.m., right after the clip Krista posted. The next one was at 2:05 a.m., and then 2:21 a.m. I felt each minute like it was an eternity, stretching out, every moment an unbearable weight. The messages that accompanied the photos were worse than I could have imagined. That last shot was crazy. You got curves I could die in. My stomach twisted even more as I read it. My hands gripped the phone so tightly I thought I might break it. Come back next time I'm in town. We'll pick up where we left off. I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't stay calm, not with this. I could feel the hot, prickling feeling in my chest, the anger rising like a storm I couldn't control. The urge to confront her was overwhelming, but I couldn't do it. Not yet. I placed the phone back where it had been, exactly as it was. I tried to steady my breathing, but my heart was still pounding. I tried to tell myself I didn't have proof of anything. I didn't know for sure, but deep down I knew. She had been with him. It wasn't just a one-time mistake. The messages, the photos, they all told me that she had crossed a line that I couldn't come back from. The next morning, Emily acted like nothing was wrong. She woke up early, made us both coffee, and sat down to scroll through her phone. She laughed at a meme and even kissed me on the shoulder as I sat at the table, but I saw through it all. The fake smile, the nervous laugh, the way her eyes avoided mine whenever they met. I couldn't trust anything she said, not now. I tried to keep my emotions in check, but it was hard. The truth was suffocating me. I couldn't even look at her the same way anymore. She was a stranger to me, someone I no longer recognized. The woman I married was still there, physically but emotionally. She was gone. How late did you stay out last night? I asked her, trying to sound casual, but my voice came out tight, as if I were holding my breath. I needed her to slip up. I needed her to say something that would give me more clarity. She paused, a brief flash of uncertainty crossing her face. We stayed for the whole concert, she said quickly. Blaze was amazing. Jess and Tina were having so much fun. She was rambling, and I could hear the tremor in her voice. I didn't want to leave early. It was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I nodded, but inside, I was screaming. Once-in-a-lifetime experience. That was the line she gave me? The same line that would let her play me for a fool? By the time the afternoon rolled around, I had already done more digging. I'd taken screenshots of the texts, the photos, and even the timestamps. I transferred everything to my computer, where I could hide them away in a folder no one could find. But something kept eating at me. I wasn't ready to confront her. Not yet. I needed more. I needed to be sure, because if I did this, if I confronted her now, I was going to lose something I could never get back. And I needed to know, without a doubt, that this wasn't just me being paranoid. That this wasn't my insecurities taking over. 2 nights later, Emily was in the shower when I heard the soft ping of her phone vibrating on the counter. I glanced at it and froze. It was a message from the same number. Your man looking suspicious? You were too good to forget. The contact name had changed. It wasn't just an unknown number anymore. She'd renamed it Delivery Help, a random, nondescript name. But I knew who it was. I knew exactly who it was. In that moment, something inside me snapped. This wasn't just some flirtation. This wasn't just a mistake. Emily had been lying to me. She had been hiding something, and now I had the proof. I sat back, staring at the screen of her phone, feeling as if the floor had been ripped out from under me. The numbness in my limbs spread to my chest, and for the first time in my life, I wanted to break something. I had the evidence now. I had everything I needed, but I couldn't bring myself to confront her yet. I needed to hold on to this for just a little longer, to let it sink in, to let the truth fester until I could no longer stand it. And as I looked down at her phone, the pieces of our life together suddenly felt so fragile, so easily shattered. Next time she walked into the room, I pretended everything was fine. I smiled, even though the smile didn't reach my eyes. She smiled back, but I could see it. The way she was avoiding me, the way she was still hiding behind that fake normalcy. The truth was out there now, and she knew it. but she wasn't ready to admit it. And neither was I. The days that followed were a strange kind of hell. Emily moved through the house as if nothing had changed, humming to herself in the kitchen, folding laundry in the living room, cuddling up next to me on the couch like everything was perfect. And I played along because I wasn't ready to destroy it all, not yet. Not until I had every piece of the puzzle. But inside me, something had shifted permanently. I watched her differently now. Every word, every gesture, every glance at her phone was another thread unraveling the trust we once had. I studied her like a man preparing to face his betrayer in court, collecting details like evidence. I couldn't stop. I wouldn't stop. Not until I had the truth. That Thursday night, while Emily was in the bathroom taking one of her long showers, I opened her laptop. She rarely used it, almost everything she did was on her phone, but something told me to check. And I was right to listen. Her email was still logged in. My hands moved slowly, almost reverently, as I clicked through folders. There wasn't much, mostly order confirmations, social media notifications, newsletters she never read. But then I found a folder marked Trips. Inside, there were only 3 emails. One stood out. Subject, your VIP pass, Blaze Live After Party Access. The email was sent at 4:11 p.m. the day of the concert. It wasn't from Blaze himself, of course, it was from some generic-sounding event group. But what struck me was the name it was addressed to. Emily Hart +1, confirmed for private lounge access. My stomach twisted. She never told me anything about a private lounge, let alone VIP access. She made it sound like she was in the crowd with her friends the entire time. The email went on to list the location of the after-party, some swanky downtown penthouse suite rented out for artists and select guests. There were rules about discretion, a short list of no-cameras zones, and contact info for an event liaison named Marcus. I clicked on Marcus' email. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it might tear through my chest. I sent a message from my own email. Hi Marcus, I'm reaching out to ask if there's a list of attendees from the Blaze Live private lounge party last Saturday. I'm working on a recap article. Any help would be appreciated. I didn't know if I'd get a reply or if it would be useful, but I had to try. I had to know just how far this went. The next morning, I watched Emily as she poured herself coffee. She wore her favorite oversized sweater, no makeup, hair tied up messily. She looked like the same girl I married 5 years ago. And yet, I couldn't see her the same way anymore. Do you remember the concert? I asked carefully, pretending to scroll my phone. She smiled. Of course I do. It was incredible. Blaze was insane on stage. He did like 3 encores. You didn't tell me you had VIP passes. Her hand froze mid-sip. What? I saw someone's story. Looked like you were behind the stage at some point. Kind of close to him. She laughed, forced, nervous. Oh yeah, it was totally random. Tina knew a guy who worked the event and he snuck us in for a few minutes. Nothing big. We didn't even stay long. She didn't know I'd seen the email. She didn't know I knew she was lying. I nodded, forcing a smile. Cool. Just curious. She relaxed, turning back to her coffee. But inside me, something was cracking. Later that afternoon, I got a response. Marcus had replied. Hi, unfortunately, I can't share the full list due to privacy concerns, but Emily Hart was on the list and checked in at 11:14 p.m. with an additional guest. Thanks for reaching out. With an additional guest? A guest who wasn't Tina. Or Jess. Or any of the other girls she'd said she was with. A guest who, for all I knew, could have been Blaze himself or someone from his entourage. Someone she never planned to tell me about. I sat back in my chair, eyes locked on the screen, rage burning through my veins like acid. I didn't know how long I sat there, staring at those words. The betrayal, once just a suspicion, had grown teeth. And now it was tearing into me. That night, Emily was on the phone in the bedroom. I stayed in the hallway, out of sight, just listening. Her voice was low, too quiet to make out words, but I caught pieces. He has no idea. No, I didn't say anything. Just chill, okay? It's done. That last word, done, echoed in my skull like a gunshot. What was done? Her night with him? Their hookup? The lie she'd been building since the moment she came home? When I finally walked in, she looked startled. Too startled. Who was that? I asked casually. Oh, Jess, she lied. I knew it. I saw it all over her face. She's being dramatic again. Something about her ex. I nodded. You two talk a lot lately. She smiled weakly. Yeah, we do. We stared at each other for a few seconds longer than normal. Long enough for the silence to thicken between us. Then she turned back to her phone, pretending to scroll, pretending everything was fine. But everything wasn't fine. And I wasn't going to pretend anymore. I wish I could say I slept that night, but the truth is I lay in bed beside Emily, staring at the ceiling, listening to the rhythm of her breathing, peaceful, steady, like she had nothing in the world to be guilty about. But I knew better. The words from Marcus's email were etched into my mind like a scar. Emily Hart checked in at 11:14 p.m. with an additional guest. She had planned this. She hadn't just stumbled into some backstage pass. She registered, confirmed, showed up, and she brought someone with her. Not Tina. Not Jess. Someone else. And whatever happened after that check-in, she hadn't told me. Not one word. What stung the most wasn't the lie itself, it was how easy it had been for her to tell it. The casualness. Like lying to me was just routine. The next morning, I took the day off work. I couldn't focus anyway. Emily thought I had a project deadline and left the house in her gym clothes like everything was fine. She gave me a kiss on the cheek before walking out the door. That kiss felt like poison. I sat at the kitchen table long after she left, drinking coffee I didn't want, staring at my phone. And then I opened Instagram. I typed in #BlazeAfterParty and scrolled. Most of the videos were low quality, blurry shots of people dancing, drinks in hand, shaky selfies from behind velvet ropes. I almost gave up until I found it. A video tagged at the Luminary Suite, same venue mentioned in the VIP email. The video was only 12 seconds long and shaky as hell. Some guy was filming himself while Blaze walked by in the background, surrounded by his entourage. Music blasted. Lights flickered. And there she was. Emily. Right there. Arms around someone's neck. Her face buried against him, laughing. I couldn't see his face, he was taller, hoodie pulled low, head turned away from the camera, but she was holding on to him like they'd known each other forever. Or like she didn't want to let go. I paused the video. Rewound. Paused again. There was no mistaking it. That was my wife. In the middle of a crowded VIP lounge, holding on to someone like I didn't exist. I stared at the frozen image on my phone until my hands started to shake. I wanted to throw it across the room. I wanted to scream. But instead, I saved the video. Downloaded it. Backed it up in 3 different folders. Because I wasn't letting this go. Not until I had every piece. When Emily came home that afternoon, I was calm. Too calm. She didn't notice anything different. She dropped her gym bag, grabbed a protein shake from the fridge, and went upstairs to shower. I followed her minutes later. I found her towel-wrapped, hair wet, scrolling through her phone on the bed. She looked up and smiled. Hey, you feeling okay? You've been quiet all day. I sat down on the edge of the bed. I found a video from the after-party. Her eyes didn't move. What? I was curious. I searched the hashtag. There's a video from that suite. You're in it. She froze, then blinked. What are you talking about? You're holding on to someone. Laughing. Pretty close. A long pause. She locked her phone. Set it down. I don't know what video you think you saw, but you're overreacting. I'm watching it, Emily. You're spying on me now? I stared at her. You lied to me. I didn't lie. I just didn't tell you everything. Because I knew you'd do this. Do what, Emily? Ask questions when my wife shows up in a VIP lounge she never told me about, clinging to a stranger like they were about to kiss. It wasn't like that. Then tell me what it was like. She looked away. It was nothing. Just a moment. I was drunk. He pulled me in for a photo and I laughed. That's all. You don't even look at me like that anymore. Her mouth opened but no words came out. I stood. Tell me who he was. I don't know his name. Was it Blaze? No. Her answer came fast. Too fast. It wasn't him. Then who, Emily? Who the hell were you with at 11:15 at night in a private suite while I sat at home wondering if I was being paranoid? She didn't answer. Not because she didn't want to. Because she couldn't. I didn't sleep that night either. Emily cried a little. Tried to crawl into bed next to me. I didn't move. Didn't speak. Just lay there, eyes wide open, trying to remember the last time I truly trusted her. Tried to remember the last time I looked at her and didn't see a stranger. I couldn't. It was gone. All of it. The laughter. The little touches. The way I used to reach for her hand without thinking. It had all rotted beneath the surface, eaten away by the lies she thought I'd never find. And yet, something inside me still wasn't ready to let go. I needed the truth. The full, raw, sickening truth. Because only then could I decide whether to burn this thing down. Or bury it. 2 days after the confrontation, Emily stopped pretending. She stopped trying to hold my hand. Stopped kissing me goodnight. Stopped making coffee in the morning the way she used to, with almond milk, the way I liked it, the way only someone who gave a damn would remember. She just existed next to me. It was like watching a ghost live in my house. Or maybe I was the ghost now. The one haunting the life we used to share. I didn't push her anymore. I didn't interrogate. I'd learned that when a liar runs out of lies, silence is their last defense. But I wasn't done. Not even close. I reached out to Marcus again. He hesitated at first, said he wasn't supposed to share client details. But I reminded him that Emily had used my credit card for the hotel. Legally, the booking was in my name. That gave me leverage. Eventually, he gave me a name, Corey Faze Dalton. Blaze's hype man, backup vocalist and best friend. Not famous in his own right, but always around. Always in the background. The guy in the hoodie. I looked him up. His Instagram was private. But his Twitter? Wide open. And 2 nights after the concert, at exactly 12:43 a.m., he posted, "Some girls be wives out here acting like groupies. You'd be shocked who threw themselves at me after the show. Zippermouth face fire #BlazeLife #no names just facts." And attached was a blurry, high-contrast photo. Hard to tell much. Except for a silhouette that looked eerily familiar, same long blonde curls, same off-shoulder black top. Emily's outfit from that night. The comments were worse. "Damn. You bagged that suburban queen? Tell her to lose the ring next time." Face with tears of joy. "She had a husband too? LMAO savage." I felt my throat close. It was like drowning in molasses. It wasn't just suspicion anymore. Wasn't blurry video or missing hours. It was confirmation. She hadn't just flirted. She hadn't just gotten drunk. She'd gone all the way, with some hanger-on backup singer in a hotel suite. Behind my back. While I stayed up at night worried about her safety. I didn't confront her right away. No, I let it simmer. Let the rot rise. Watched her make dinner like nothing had happened. Watched her fold my t-shirts. Watched her sit across the table from me. Eyes vacant. Occasionally forcing a smile that never touched her soul. And when I couldn't hold it anymore, I waited until we were alone. Really alone. Late at night. No lights. Just the quiet hum of the fridge in the next room. She sat on the couch, legs curled beneath her, phone in hand, not even noticing I was standing there until I spoke. "I know." Her head jerked. "What?" "I know it was Faze. Corey Dalton." Her eyes widened for just a second, just long enough. Then her voice dropped. "Who?" "Don't insult me." Silence. I sat down across from her. Calm. Methodical. "Marcus told me who checked in with you. And your boy? He's not subtle on social media." She looked away. That told me everything. The pause. The stillness. The way she couldn't meet my eyes. "Emily," I said softly, "tell me the truth." Tears welled up in her eyes. "I didn't mean for it to happen." "Don't." She wiped her face. "It wasn't planned. It just happened. After the suite, we all drank, and Blaze disappeared with some model. Tina and Jess left, and I was alone with Corey, and he. No, I cut in. He didn't do anything. You made a choice. You did this." She nodded, slowly, and then she said it. The words I already knew were coming. "I slept with him." Should have shattered me. But weirdly it didn't, because I had already shattered days ago. What was left wasn't heartbreak. It was clarity. Cold, unforgiving clarity. I stood up, walked upstairs, opened our closet, pulled out my suitcase and started packing. She followed me halfway up the stairs, sobbing. "Please wait. We can fix this. It was a mistake." "No," I said, not looking at her. "A mistake is dropping a glass of wine. You had options. You made choices. You lied. You cheated. And then you lied again. I love you," she whispered. I zipped the suitcase. "No, you don't. You love the comfort. You love the safety. But me? You threw me away for a night in a hotel suite." She collapsed on the hallway floor, crying into her hands. But I didn't stop. Didn't turn back. Didn't say goodbye. It's been 3 months since I left. She's texted a few times. Emails too. I haven't responded. I don't need to, because the version of Emily that I loved? She died the night I saw her arms around someone else. She died the moment she said, "It wasn't like that. when it was exactly like that. And me? I'm still putting myself back together. But I'm not bitter. I'm not broken. I'm just free. And freedom tastes a hell of a lot better than betrayal.